Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of Newsroom series on Channels Television. I'm Anne Mwawado. We begin with security. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, believes that the country is not for the establishment of state-controlled police, despite the myriad of security challenges facing it. He made the comments today during a national dialogue on state policing organized by the Policy and Advocacy Center in the nation's capital, Abuja. According to the police boss, there is a potential for abuse of power by the state political leadership, as well as the conflict of jurisdiction if state police comes into force. The event was also attended by several top dignitaries, including the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, who believes that despite the challenges, state police has become non-negotiable. In the meantime, the vice president, Kashim Shettima, says that there is need for legislative policies to take off the state policing challenge.
This government, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is acutely aware of the complex security issues that our country faces. As such, we are continually developing and refining our strategies and methods to address these challenges effectively. Today's dialogue is critical to these efforts, providing a platform for robust discussion and innovative thinking regarding the decentralization and reform of our policing structure. His Excellency, Mr. President, firmly believes that the path to effective security is through adaptive reforms, catering to our diverse nation's unique needs and circumstances. This can only be achieved by carefully reviewing various models and options best suited to Nigeria's context. This thoughtful and inclusive approach will guide us towards a policing system that is both effective and respectful of the rights and dignity of all citizens. It gladdens my heart that the 10th House of Representatives, under the Speaker, Right Honorable Dr. Tajuddin Abbas, has keyed into this initiative of the President. The involvement of the legislature in executive reform proposals ensures continuity and synergy. Let us use this opportunity to engage and explore every option with the seriousness and diligence they demand. The concept of state policing is not merely a policy proposal, but a potential milestone in the evolution of our law enforcement framework. The insights we gain will inform our administration's approach to supporting legislation that not only enhances the capacity of our police force, but also strengthens the bonds of trust between law enforcement and the public.
Nigeria has resumed the persecution of all Boko Haram detainees in Kainji, and that's according to the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, who was speaking at the African Counterterrorism Summit in Abuja. It says that Nigeria is also gathering intelligence on the activities of Boko Haram and ISWAP with a view to tackling the groups headlong. The event, which has been declared open by President Bola Tinubu, also had in attendance the President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, and the President of Togo, Faure Gnassingbé. Also representatives of other countries and bilaterals, as well as over 400 delegates from across African countries. In her speech, the United Nations Deputy Secretary General, Mrs. Amina Mohammed, says that achieving the SDGs in Africa is off track as a result of security threats. She says that the root causes of terrorism, such as poverty, youth unemployment, and gender inequality, among others, have caused this. She is now calling on the leaders to rebuild their social contract by ensuring people-oriented police. In the meantime, unknown gunmen have reportedly killed a professor of law at the Babcock University in Ogun State. Professor Yinka Olomojobi and abducted 2 others in the Ikweru area of the state. Mr. Olomojobi, a professor of law, was reportedly shot dead on Friday for allegedly refusing to be taken away by the suspected gunmen. It was reported that while he was shot dead, 2 residents were kidnapped and taken to an unknown destination. Confirming the incident, the police public relations officer in the state, Omolola Odutola, says that 1 person has been arrested in connection with the incident. It was reported that gunshots were heard at the Ajadi Event Center in Shagamu Road in the Ikweru area of Ogun State. Eyewitnesses were able to count 8 men dressed in black and armed with guns emerging from an unknown place into a recreational lounge, opening fire indiscriminately, where 1 person later identified as a lecturer at Babcock University named Oluwajobinka was shot in the chest. While the lecturer was taken to Babcock University Teaching Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Efforts are still on to apprehend the culprits and rescue the kidnapped victims, and further updates will be provided as the situation develops. Away from security matters now, the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, has reiterated his administration's readiness to partner with investors to unlock the tourism potentials of the state. The governor also promised to support and work with relevant stakeholders to foster partnership that would lead to sustainable development and guarantee the success of their investments. Governor Makinde stated this at the opening ceremony of the 2024 International Tourism Summit held at the International Conference Center, University of Ibadan, in the state capital.
It's a 2-day event marked with fanfare. Technocrats, especially culture and tourism experts from all walks of life, gather here at the International Conference Center, University of Ibadan, to fashion out ways of achieving a brighter future for tourism in Oyo State.
We can do better.
This event, the first of its kind in the state, lays credence to Governor Seyi Makinde's commitment to reposition the tourism sector as a driver for sustainable development.
Our minimum expectation is that the Ibadan Cultural Center will be restored to its former glory. And then we project that the entry point for this investment will be about 1 billion naira. So in fact, for each of these sites and destinations, which I will be referring to as the Focus 6, entry points are from about 250 million with expected profit margins of between 50 and 60% yearly.
Chairperson of the summit, former Minister of Industry, Mrs. Onike Akonde, says the theme of the summit is timely as the state targets a wider market of investors.
What Oyo State is working towards here is to target a wider market of investors to projecting the new phase of tourism in the state.
Also in attendance is the Minister of Tourism, Mrs. Lola Adejon, who appreciates the Oyo State government for showcasing the state's hidden treasures through tourism, assuring of her ministry's partnership to explore these potentials.
Under the theme of repositioning tourism as a driver of sustainable development in Oyo State, we recognize its profound impact on economic growth, social cohesion, and environmental conservation. Together with relevant federal, state, and local government, private sector, and international stakeholders, we will endeavor to showcase the beauty that Oyo State beholds for our generations to come.
In his goodwill message, the guest of honor, former Cross River State Governor Donald Duke, notes that educating people in the hospitality sector is essential to make the state one of the most visited tourism destinations in the world.
I want to commend the Oyo State government again for this, for putting up this audience, but I want to also appeal. Let's take it beyond where we are today. Let's localize it. Let's make it our life to ensure that each part of our state is inviting to people from all over the world.
The Oyo State government has identified 6 major Category A sites of development in the state to revolutionize the face of tourism.
From From tourism to politics, the Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has been declared winner of the All Progressives Congress governorship primary in Ondo State. Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo and chairman of the election organizing committee declared Governor Aiyedatiwa as the winner of the party's primary in the early hours of today. According to the results announced by Governor Ododo, Governor Aiyedatiwa secured 48,569 votes to defeat his closest challengers, Mayowa Akinfolari, who scored 15,343 votes, and Olushola Oke, who polled 14,915 votes.
The waiting is finally over as party faithful gather at the Dome Hall after the rescheduled election at the Kutipupa local government. The arrival of the committee chairman signals the beginning of the long-awaited exercise, and it goes straight to business.
At the end of the voting exercise, votes were counted and recorded at the ward and transmitted to local government areas coalition centers.
Midway into the exercise, however, the returning officer of Ifedore local government area says there were no elections in the local government.
Having been mandated by the committee to go to the local government, we went, the entire wards, we tried to coordinate around the entire wards. We couldn't find any human being in any ward. As everybody has taken shelter in their different rooms. We also saw that there was a deployment of armed policemen already before our arrival as a result of the violence. So, what I have, the total registered voters in that area is 9940. But here I entered 000 for all the candidates.
The announcement of the results then continued for the remaining 17 local government areas. The incumbent governor was announced as the winner of the exercise.
Francis A. Faduile, 353. Ifeoluwa O. Oyedele, 462. Lucky O. Aiyedatiwa, 48,569. By the power conferred on the committee and in line with the APC guidelines for the nomination of candidates of the party in the general election, I, Ahmed Usman Ododo, hereby declare that Lucky Orimisan Aiyedatiwa, having satisfied the requirement of the law and scored the highest number of lawful votes cast in the direct primary election conducted on the 20th day of April 2024 in Ondo State, is hereby returned elected, and he is declared the winner of the Ondo State APC governorship primary election.
As part of the party guidelines for the ratification and affirmation of the result, 5 executive members from each of the wards affirmed his victory, while the APC governorship candidate expresses appreciation to the party members for the confidence reposed in him.
The greatness of Ondo State is what matters at this moment. I understand that I must leave no stone unturned in order to cement the trust you have graciously depicted on me. I therefore request that we all join hands together in building the future that we all yearn for in Ondo State.
He also called on other contestants to rally round him and work together for the victory of the party in the November governorship election.
Welcome back. Associates of Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, who is one of the 16 aspirants in last Saturday's governorship primary election of the APC in Ondo State, have been reacting to the outcome of that election. The Director of Strategic Communication of Asheyori Movement, Banji Okunomo, also was speaking to Channels Television, insists that election did not hold in his ward in Ilaje local government area of the state and other parts of the state. He's appealing to the leadership of the APC to cancel the election and conduct a rerun. The reaction is coming after the chairman of the election committee, Governor Usman Ododo of Kogi State, declared Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa as the winner of the election.
In fact, this is the first time, this is the first time direct primary will be done in Ondo State. People came out in their largest number, but they could not exercise their right to vote because there were no election materials, there were no officials to conduct the election. Everybody returned home disappointed, and only for some people to configure certain, votes to themselves and announce themselves as winner of the election. It is not done. In fact, the funniest of it was a case of one of the aspirants, in person of Mayowa Akinfolari, who made a public disclosure that he had been spoken to in Abuja to step aside in the race. And in fact, the video is all over, it's trending all over. Only for the same man being the candidate of some element within at the level of Abuja there to now be given or allotted 115,000 votes as the second in that race, that he came second. How? Somebody who had withdrawn from the race will now come second.
Away from that now, a non-governmental organization, Adiola Aziz Community Care Foundation, has trained about 150 women in sustainable agribusiness using technology for food sufficiency and security. The convener and the chief promoter of that Community Care Foundation, Mr. Adiola Aziz, said this has become expedient in order to chart a new course using technology in agriculture. The two-day event attracted the presence of special guests of honor. At the occasion, Bamidele Abiodun and the wife of the former governor of Ogun State, Olufunso Amosun.
These beneficiaries are participating in a two-day training aimed for women farmers, aimed at shifting agricultural practices towards embracing technology and modern methods. The event, which is an extended celebration of International Women's Day, drew notable figures such as the wife of the Ogun State Governor, Bamidele Abiodun, and wife of former Governor, Olufunso Amosun.
We're gathered to collectively empower.
Chairperson of the Adiola Aziz Community Care Foundation asked the state government to implement agriculture interventions to ensure women succeed in their business.
We are here today to invite all our stakeholders, our government, who I am charging, and they are already doing so, to set up interventions that address the concerns and needs of women in agriculture, such as access to funding, access to land.
Wife of the Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, is the special guest of honor who speaks on the importance of the role women play in food security.
Whilst women make up roughly 70% of the agricultural workforce in Nigeria, they also feel the brunt of the impact of any economic shocks as they struggle to feed their families. Therefore, it is important for us to recognize the critical role women play in our ability to achieve food security in Nigeria.
Day 2 of the program features another special guest, wife of the former governor, Mrs. Olufunso Amosun. She focuses on the importance of the use of technology in agribusiness.
If you can think it, we can achieve it. Through hard work, dedication, resilience, perseverance, consistency, and God's benevolence, we can make progress. We can achieve it. We can succeed.
The participants from the Ogun East Senatorial District were trained on agriculture fundamentals, record keeping, irrigation management, financial management, agric financing, and received guidance from agriculture and health experts.
100 students have graduated from information technology training program called Imole Tech Hub Initiative. This program, put together by an Honorable Oluwatoyin Fayinka, is to support youths in Mushin area of Lagos State and make them independent.
It's the graduation ceremony of the inaugural Imole Tech Hub Initiative, organized by the representative of Mushin Federal Constituency 2, Oluwatoyin Fayinka. After 6 weeks, the trainees are now equipped with digital skills, including computer graphics design, use of Microsoft Office software, database management systems administrator and operator, web design and development. The lawmaker is willing to do more for his constituency to support the state government's other intervention programs.
This is just the beginning. We are committed to doing even more in the future to empower our youth and pave the way for their success. The significance of this program cannot be understated, as it equips our graduates with the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in the competitive world of information technology. This initiative is a promise fulfilled, a promise made to the youth during my campaigns, a promise of unwavering support and empowerment.
The graduating students will also be getting free export training from other support groups such as the United Nations.
We'll be giving you, all the 100 students, free export training. Free. You're going to learn how, when you learn that with your tech skill, you'll be able to work with anybody.
The students share some of the knowledge gained.
I studied Microsoft administration. Under it, we could see Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. On Microsoft Word, it's basically used for anything under Office.
I learned a lot on getting here, and I want to thank God for giving him the power and capacity to give us these free lectures.
Over 100 of us have benefited from this course, and we are now going to the world to showcase what he has given us as a foundation, to build on it and to get to the higher level.
These trainees can now compete in the tech industry while adding positive value to the society.
Thank you.
You're seeing there are shots from Oyo State, where the government has now advised residents of the state to always report any strange or suspicious activity in their vicinity to the appropriate authorities. The Commissioner for Lands, Housing, Survey and Urban Development, Mr. William Akin Fumilayo, stated this while speaking with newsmen at the site of demolished buildings allegedly belonging to agitators of Yoruba Nation. This move is coming after 29 suspects were arraigned in court by the police for treasonable felony and other offences. The state government had on Tuesday, April the 16th, 2024, demolished the buildings being used by the agitators of the Yoruba Nation who invaded the state secretariat in Agodi, Ibadan on Saturday, April 7th, 2024, following a court order. And that's Newsroom series for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Enjoy the rest of the day.